Russian President Vladimir Putin made a shocking and straightforward comment against his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelenskyy and the West. Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that the West is using Zelenskyy's Jewish heritage to cover for the culpability of Ukrainian nationalists in the Holocaust during the Second World War. He also talked about Stepan Bandera, a Ukrainian prominent figure declared a war criminal by both Poland and the Soviet Union for killing Ukrainian Jews. Bandera was the leader of the militant arm of the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists during World War II, and up to this day, he remains a divisive figure in Ukraine, with some hailing him as a liberator from the Soviets, while others consider him to be a Nazi collaborator for killing 1.5 million Ukrainian Jews and for living with his deputies under German protection after World War II started. Bandera was eventually assassinated by the Soviet spies in 1959. The Ukrainian government, however, declared Bandera a national hero in 2010. Zelenskyy is of Jewish heritage, while his grandfather, Semyon, fought in the Second World War and earned 2 Red Star medals for his courage and heroism. In a 2019 interview with broadcaster Ukrainska Pravda, Zelenskyy described Bandera as a hero for some Ukrainians, and that is normal and cool.
Западные кураторы поставили во главе современной Украины человека, этнического еврея с еврейскими корнями, с происхождением еврейским. И таким образом, на мой взгляд, они как бы прикрывают такую античеловеческую сущность, которая положена во фундамент, в основу современного украинского государства. И это делает всю ситуацию в высшей степени отвратительной. Тем, что этнический еврей прикрывает героизацию нацизма и прикрывает тех, кто возглавлял в свое время холокостное поколение. А это уничтожение 1,5 миллиона человек. И вы знаете, лучше всего это понимают простые граждане Израиля. Посмотрите, пожалуйста, что они говорят в интернете.
Former leader of the Proud Boys, has received a 22-year prison sentence, marking the longest prison term among the Capitol riot-related cases. Enrique Tario, former leader of the Proud Boys, has been sentenced to 22 years in federal prison for his involvement in organizing the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riot. This marks one of the lengthiest sentences among the more than 1,100 Capitol riot-related cases. Tario's sentencing is tied to his role in seditious conspiracy, classified as an act of terrorism by the judge. But reports say Tario was not physically present in Washington on the day when thousands stormed the Capitol to disrupt the certification of President Joe Biden's election victory. During the sentencing, Tario said, and quote, "I am not a political zealot. Inflicting harm or altering election results was not my goal. Please show me mercy. I ask you not to take my 40s from me." At the time of the Capitol breach, Tario was in a Baltimore hotel room, approximately 40 miles from Washington, under a court order to stay away from the city due to an unrelated arrest 2 days before the riot. Prosecutors initially sought a 33-year prison sentence for Tario, asserting that he played a pivotal role in coordinating efforts to prevent the peaceful transfer of power to President Biden from then-President Donald Trump. Tario reportedly sent messages from his hotel room encouraging Proud Boys members to participate in the riot. Numerous individuals and groups have faced prosecution for their alleged involvement in the Capitol breach. 4 other Proud Boys members were convicted of seditious conspiracy, receiving sentences ranging from 10 to 18 years. Stuart Rhodes, chairman of the activist group Oath Keepers, received an 18-year sentence, previously the longest prison term for a Capitol riot-related conviction. Critics, including some Republican lawmakers, have accused the Biden administration of implementing a 2-tiered justice system, arguing that Trump supporters involved in the Capitol breach have faced severe penalties, while left-wing activists linked to the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests, resulting in property damage and casualties, have been treated treated differently. Former President Donald Trump was impeached by the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives on January 13, 2021 for his alleged role in inciting the Capitol riot. Trump consistently denied wrongdoing, maintaining that the allegations were politically motivated. He also continued to assert that he had won the 2020 election and that his victory was stolen from him. Reporting, this has been Jayne Codnita, Azimanayan News. Among the key topics discussed during the press conference of Russian President Vladimir Putin and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is the future of the Black Sea grain deal. Berhil Paba reports.
Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that the West deceived Moscow about the humanitarian goals of the Black Sea Initiative during a joint press conference with Turkish leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan following talks in Sochi earlier this week. The Black Sea grain deal was signed in Istanbul in July 2022 between the representatives of Turkey, Russia, Ukraine, and the United Nations. It has been extended multiple times but expired on July 17, 2023 after Russia pulled out of the deal, saying that their side of the agreement was not being implemented. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy earlier stated that Kiev was determined to continue the work of the Black Sea Grain Initiative or its counterpart in a tripartite format including Ukraine, the UN, and Turkey. He claimed that the deal had ensured the exports of up to 33 million tons of agricultural produce to 45 countries of the world, with 60% shift to countries in Africa and Asia. But during the press conference with Erdogan, Putin revealed that most of it went to wealthy nations and only a few were delivered to countries that needed it most. Putin stressed that 32.8 million tons of cargo were exported from Ukraine and more than 70% went to wealthy countries, mostly in the European Union, while only 3% or less than 1 million tons of the cargo went to countries that need food assistance. Putin also pointed out that Russia would be ready to consider the possibility of resuming the grain deal if all the agreements to lift restrictions on exports of Russian agricultural products will be implemented. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, for his part, hopes that the deal would be revived one way or another. He revealed that a package of consultations with the UN was in the works. Erdogan also said, quote, "The alternative proposals placed on the agendas did not meet expectations in terms of security and other aspects. Our Russian friends have made clear their expectations in this regard, and we emphasized these expectations at different platforms." To recall, the Foreign Ministry of Russia said that the blatant sabotage of the Black Sea grain deal defeats the purpose of continuing it, which did not live up to its humanitarian rationale, while Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that it could return as soon as the Russian part is implemented. The uncertainty of the future of the grain deal puts the rest of the world on edge. And to recall, last Sunday, which is days before the talks between Putin and Erdogan took place, Russia launched a barrage of drone attacks at a port located in Odessa region, and this port is being used by Ukraine to export grain. Ukraine's Air Force said they shot down 22 out of the 25 drones destined for the Danube River port infrastructure, the country's main route for shipping grain after the deal broke down in July. Reporting, this has been Berhil Paba, Azimanayan News.